Hi. I haven't really made an important video in a while. Anything that was really about me, or you know what I mean. Well, no, you don't. Started this because I wanted to start telling my story. It's really hard. My health gets in the way a lot. And even when I felt a little better without being able to have the shorter hair, touching me all the time was too, made me anxious. And doing the videos made me super anxious. So I had to wait till I felt comfortable again, and that meant I had to have my hair gone. And I went super short this time because I do not want it growing back very fast. I really want it to take its time and go slow. Very, very slow. So, yeah. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. A lot of thinking. And I've come to a few conclusions. And one of them is this. Our society, I think I'm going to go this way. Let's see. I don't think that's better, y'all. I really don't. Our society is backwards in so many ways. But here's the thing. If somebody gets shot with a gun, they need to go to the hospital, they need to be treated, they need somebody to patch them up, they need assistance. They have injuries that people can see. People understand, offer sympathy. And I know a lot of people don't want sympathy, and I get that. But if you've lived your entire life with very few people feeling sympathetic towards you, and very few people being charity towards you, it matters when you get it. And it matters when you need it and you don't get any. But people with hidden things, mental disorders especially, but even pain things that's hidden, lupus, bipolar is a big one. It's not always hidden, but sometimes it is. A lot of things are hidden. And we're made to feel that it's not real. We're making it up just because people can't see it. And so we hide it. We fake smile. Hi, how you doing? Hey, how have you been? And we're supposed to go, oh, we're doing good. But you're not. And you haven't. But you're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to go, you know what? I've been this close to losing my damn mind because my body's in so much pain that I can't even get out of bed and grab something out of the fridge to eat. I can't even pick up the pitcher to fill my cup. I can't even use our water dispenser because it makes me slightly bend forward to put the cup in and out. And I can't do that. I just don't have that ability all the time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I'm okay. But when I injure part of me, I pull something random. My cousin thinks I pulled my scalings. And then before I pulled something weird in my hip, like all the way around my hip, my right one. They're all deep interior things, not easy to get to and not easy to massage or treat or anything. I don't like talking to people a lot because I'm not allowed to talk to people. Not really talk to them. Oh, yeah, I've been doing great. You haven't seen me in 5 years. You haven't called to ask, but now you want me to stand here and pretend that everything's been fine. And it's not. It's not fine. Having to live with so many medical issues that are invisible, except for maybe diabetes, but nobody gets it. And I'm not allowed to talk about it because I got to pretend that everything's okay. When all I want to do is drop down on my knees and beg you to help me. Do anything to help. Just a little help, you know? Somebody came around once a week and helped clean my house or something. I mean the world to me. But I can't afford to pay people. And my family aren't ever going to do it. And I think I'm going to break out my lip right here and see something. I can feel it tingle and something's coming. Scratched myself this morning with my thumb while I was laying in bed. Just was moving something and caught my own chin. Talented. I sequester myself because I am sick of lying to the world. Everybody's like, don't be a Debbie Downer. Don't bring everybody down. Why you gotta be so sad all the time? Why you gotta bring everybody down? Because that's my life. I'm not trying to bring you down. I'm trying to share what I'm going through with you. And it's exhausting. I have to work up. When I have to go to the doctor and have to be a people person, it takes me weeks now to get ready. It takes me weeks to be able to face people and talk and do small talk. And just the energy of that. And that is who I believe was my real person, who I believe was who I was supposed to be. But I don't have access to that person all the time. I have to save it up and save it up until I have enough, like, points to be a human for a day. And then it'll take me weeks to come back. The next 2 days, I can barely function, whether I'm sore from the activity or just so fundamentally exhausted. I can't even listen to a book. And I mean, you just sit there and listen to a book, right? But I don't. I'm a picture person. I'm a visual person. So when I'm listening to a book, I picture the whole thing going on my head. And sometimes I'm so tired that don't even work. I can't even hold my phone. Like, just laying in bed, laying there, supporting my phone, I'll have to put a pillow to prop it up because it's too heavy. It's like gravity gets turned up 1,000,000 degrees or something. The simple act of lifting my head to take a drink, even if I have a straw, let's say I have a straw, so I don't have to go very far, but reaching my hand out to grab my cup, bring it back to my mouth, lift my head, and take a sip. I have laid there, whether couch or my bed. Now I pretend to not go. I used to always go to the living room. And now I don't even have it in me to just go lay on the couch anymore like I used to. So I lay in bed. And my mind is unable to function. And I feel like all the energy just draining, like from my hips down. I can feel it leaving my legs and just running out my feet. And the last few steps just to get to my bed, like from the bathroom or something, I feel like I'm not going to make it. Like the next step, I'm going to be on the floor. And this is most days. This is after one good day. And maybe on that good day, I sit in the living room that day, visit with the kids, talk to the kids that day, visit around, go outside a lot, talk to my chickens, play with my dogs a little bit in the backyard, checking on my garden all the time, feeding the chickens and whatnot. And then I go to bed. And the next couple days, even that little bit is just so hard to do. It's just so hard. And I'm not allowed to talk about it. So who can I talk to? A therapist? Yeah, I've tried that. Every time I try to go to therapy, they give me pills that fuck up my mind even more. I don't want to do that no more. So now I'm talking to you. Me. I don't know, my camera, I guess. Because I'm tired of holding it all in. And my issues might be invisible, but I'm not. And my voice isn't, sound waves and all that, but you know what I mean. I might not be able to talk to people, but I can still talk. See if I can give you a quick list of some of my mental issues. Mental. We're going to start with the head, right? Okay. So, very traumatic childhood. I was basically a milk carton baby. My mom disappeared when I was like 2 or 3. My dad hired private investigators a little bit trying to find me. I didn't meet my dad until I was 16. By then I was living in foster care. My mom was a child of the 70s and 60s, I guess. She's a hippie, but she didn't go into peace and everything. She was an old lady for the Hells Angels group, or one of them. One of my brothers, his biological father, was one of the Hells Angels, and my uncle was one of the Hells Angels. I don't remember a lot of my little childhood, just a couple of clips. We moved every 3 to 6 months from about that time approximately until we went to the Pinecone house, which was like a hell house, basically. But even if my mom didn't want to pay bills, so as soon as the weather got warm, we'd never live in a house. And once we moved to Oregon, we spent all summer until it got cold living at camping grounds here and there, moving all over. I see Oregon as home. We moved there when I was about 8. Christmas vacation when I was about 8. From this area, Bakersfield, I believe, or Lake Isabella or something. We moved from Bakersfield, Lake Isabella. I know one point we were living in a migratory farm worker camp. We lived in a lot of KOAs. We lived in a car. We lived in Sacramento, I believe, and we lived in Lake Isabella. I know of 2 places here in Bakersfield specifically I lived. One of them is no longer standing. It was a white house, and we had a horse when we lived there. His name was Zigzag. We had a goat, but she died. Her name was Cassandra. She liked me, but hated Hoss. We had ducks at one point. I don't have a lot of memories, but once we went to Oregon, it changed because no matter how much we moved, there was only one school system. And we moved along. It wasn't until I was going into high school that we actually moved to the Pinecone house. Or maybe the end of junior high. I moved to the Pinecone house. And we stayed there until I went into foster care when I was like 14. And then right before I turned 16, I met my dad for the first time. And then I flew to Missouri at the end of that school year and lived with my dad for a few years. Moved around a lot after that. Ended up back in Bakersfield after taking a trip to California, then to Ohio or Iowa, then to Missouri, and then back here, and been stuck here ever fucking since. I wish I could have come to rest in any other place with this. But I'm making the best of what I have. I have a beautiful home. It's going to take a lot of work to get it there, but my kids are growing up in a stable house. I mean, this house is stable. We just had a really bad storm that totally broke one of the stalks. I had like 4 good stalks of my pomegranate tree growing up, and it totally blew one over and broke it. And we didn't feel a thing in the house. We barely feel the earthquakes. This house is solid. It's over 120 years old. It's Victorian. It was probably like owned all the area around it. It was probably a grand house in its time. But it's mine, and we have a huge backyard, and I've been working on this backyard since we moved in. When we first moved here, you'd come out the back door, and there was stones, like a stone patio. And then a giant field of goat heads and hitchhikers, the foxtails, weeds. And we turned it into something. I now have my own little area out here, and I have lights at night, so we have a nice soft glowy light. Got a blanket for when it gets cold. Here's one of my stands. Have to have a fan anywhere I sit for a while. Got a little seating area. We can close the awning up or leave it open. I have one of my privacy lattices here. We tried to grow morning glories, but it didn't work. But I have jasmine, a star climbing jasmine. And it's out in my garden right now. And so it's a balloon for the first time. I'm very excited about that. And we're going to put it here because the dryer vent's here, but the dryer is going to help keep it nice and warm and hot. And my goal is for it to climb this here and then go across here trying to get to the sun, because I do want this to be completely covered with the vines. So over here, this big long privacy thing I have set up. Right now, the sweet pea's growing in it. But my morning glories are starting to come up all over, but there's a few weeds I need to get in there and clean out. These are going to be up much higher like this. And then I have some twinkle lights that are solar paneled that are on the outside of it right now. But once I get these hung up so that we can walk under it, I'm going to twine it around these. So we'll have like a beautiful green wall with twinkle lights and everything in it. I have not seen my hair from the side. I know he messed up part of it, but I don't know. Jaden did it for me a couple days ago. So that'll be like an extension. And I want to pull these steps out one more, make it all the way up to where these bricks are going to be closer. So that way there's actually no more birds over here. That'll be the goal. No more for them to dig and try to get into my flowers. So you come out on these little steps. Here's the privacy screen. Here's us privacy there. And then I'll give you a small glimpse of our back here. Our barbecue equipment in here. This whole line right here is asphalt underneath the little bit of dirt. You can see a little bit of concrete right there. And then there's asphalt over there. So nothing would grow here. Originally, this is where I want to put the garden anyway, since I want to do raised garden. I couldn't keep the chickens out of it, so we ended up doing it back there. So I'm going to spray all this crap off and actually clean off the patio, and then we'll put the barbecue equipment there, because there's a lot of rats that live in our fences and mice. And so they go underneath the barbecuers, and then the dogs dig them out, so the barbecuers are almost going to fall down. So we're going to move them where the chickens and the dogs and the mice will have to leave the barbecuers alone. Eventually we'll maybe build an actual stone bed, but right now I can at least clean off the asphalt and we can use it. And hopefully get the birds away from everything. Over here is the plum tree. It's the very first tree I have ever bought and planted myself. And that was like a big thing with me, like buy my own house. I'm going to plant my own tree. So this is my tree. And it's a plum tree, and it had millions of flowers on it. And when spring first was starting to break through, but I broke most of them off because it's really young. She's very, very young. And last year she had so much fruit that she looked like a weeping willow. I mean, it was like 1,000 blossoms just on one of these. So I pulled most of them off. It has a few. Here's a tiny little plum that looked like got broken off in the storm. I left it about a couple dozen. But she's this way. She's almost grown like 3 feet just since I cut her blossoms off. So I want it to just get big and strong. Because of what happened to the pomegranate. And you see one of the branch here. It actually had fruit and everything. And it was over here in the back. You can see there's our chicken coop right there. And then here's the garden and the back fence going that way. And then the yard circles around like that. So we got plenty of space. I could have a volleyball match back here. Even have the set. Just never got to put it up yet. But I will. So here's the garden. I got my grapes coming up. They are very happy. I really need to get them transplanted. Hopefully we'll be able to do it tomorrow and the day after. My hibiscus over there is coming out. We got zucchini and yellow squash, which I'm now going to call yellers, because I'm tired of saying yellow squash every time. Got my tomatoes. Got a bunch of flowers down here, and onions and wildflowers over there. More flowers there, and different flowers here. It's all coming up. And there's the jasmine way over there that I want to put in that corner. Then here's my poor pomegranate tree here in the back. Now, when we moved here, this pomegranate tree was actually on, this is one house here, one property, and that's another property. We have both. They have both as well and on down, but this one was divided into two. Now, his line, we have a chain link fence between ours, but we had to replace it. And this pomegranate tree was growing right in the middle, like it wasn't supposed to be there. And you can see they tried to do different things to it. We have these that they tried to fix it and grow it around or whatever. But we replaced the fence a couple years ago. So we had to move it over here, and she was doing so good. She looked so pretty right before the storm in the other branch. It was our biggest and prettiest, and it filled it in. Came out right here. That's where it broke off from. Right down like that. Miss Winnie's here thinking I'm going to get her some bugs. We like to go bug hunting with my chickens. And I move stuff and they eat the bugs. Here, I'll give you an example. Let me move some of the sticks. I'll move this and then they'll start playing it underneath right here. And they'll start digging in it and stuff. But that branch came up from here and it filled in this whole big middle hole. So now I'm going to have to fix that. But I can cut a couple dead branches off. We have a few. This here is dead all the way down to this, so this can be removed. This thing here is dead to here, so that can be removed. Looks like I got a few broken branches as well. But you see my got a couple little pomegranates. I'll show you a flower. So we moved this before we bought her another one. Now it's like a third of it is dead. It's sad. So now tomorrow we're going to cut those pieces off, the dead pieces, and then we're going to get a ratchet line, like wrap it around it, hook it, and then ratchet it closed, like a tie down thing. And then we'll close them up until they're nice and supported in each other again. But this is what I do. I come out here and I work on my yard, tend my chickens and my dogs. See, there's my dog. That's Zelda and Bowser. Zelda and Bowser. Zelda, Bowser, Bowser, Zelda, Zelda, Bowser, Bowser, Zelda. They pretty much follow me everywhere I go unless somebody else is offering them food. Or if people are being loud in the neighborhood, fireworks are gunshot. Zelda doesn't like that stuff. And then here's my back. It's all messy right now. This is not mostly trash. It's just trash from today. My prep table, our lawnmower, another barbecuer we want to put over here eventually. Got my ivy growing in the fence here. Eventually I like the whole thing covered in ivy. I got another kind growing here. I'm not sure what it's doing. But I've been taking all my morning glory seeds and I throw them off the back fence because I'd like to morning glories to grow up the back fence for there to be more privacy. Because I like feeling secure. And then I got some motion center solar panel security lights, and we're going to mount one over here somewhere, maybe on top of this pole right here. And then we're going to put a sign in the back that says "Smile, you're on camera" on the back fence. And then these we're filling with nails, like gnarly looking nails. They look nasty. They look all rusted and shit. And I mean, we're using ones that are like 3 inches long. Trying to see where one of the completed boards is, but it must be put somewhere else for safety. Let's see if I can find it. Well, we're taking those and we're going to attach it to the top pole because we have fence hoppers back there. So hopefully with the security light coming on, the dogs being notified, and giant spikes along our fence and security tape, they'll leave us alone. Here we go. Let me show you. Here they are. Here's one of them here, and then here's another one. So hopefully having this on the top of our fence will discourage jumpers. That's the hope. So that's it. Talked about a lot of different things, but like I said, I'm kind of crazy. My brain does that. It jumps from this to this. Like I said, I'm talking to you because I ain't got nobody else to talk to anymore. Nobody that really wants to hear anything. The invisibility thing. I forgot all about that damn shit. See, this is pathetic. My son says he thinks I have ADHD in my brain too, like he does. Or at least ADD. Because I do jump from topic to topic to topic a lot. That is part of my thing. I don't know. I really don't know where to put the phone because my arm is tired and I can't hold it no more. And I really don't have anywhere good to put it, so I guess I'm just tired of being silent. In our family, we were taught never to talk about anything. Kids are silent. never offer opinions, never have emotions, never matter. Not even that much. They never matter, you know? That's how I was raised. So right now I'm at a place in my life where I'm trying to prove that I do matter to myself. And that's hard to do. If you understood the time of life I had, it's really hard to do. But just because the pain is invisible, I don't fucking know. See, now I'm so tired. I can barely think. I can barely be coherent. And this is what happens. I had that little burst of energy. I took you out there and I showed you. And now I can barely put a sentence together. I'm so tired. It's absolutely ridiculous that something like that can be this exhausting. And you can kind of hear it in my voice when I get tired. It gets kind of yucky. I mean, teeth are gross. Yes, I know. They're not white. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can get that off. I doubt it. I actually think that's a filling, that he made that color. It was a cavity they fixed. You used to have a great smile. Yes, that's what everyone said. I didn't realize I had dimples. I always loved dimples. Didn't realize I had them because I'm an idiot. Well, welcome to my crazy. Yes. I'm tired of being silent. But I'm mostly tired of being invisible. Invisible means that you are taught from a basic level that nothing about you matters.